Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today. We're going to do another moon salutation. So I did a video last week on moon salutations. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description. Fun fact, like I said last time, a sun salutation is a forward and backward movement of the body, and a moon salutation is a side-to-side movement of the body. So make sure you have some space to move side to side. And actually today we'll be using the floor a little bit. So it's a very non-traditional moon salutation. Gives us some variety and something fun to work with. So let's go ahead and stand. We're going to move this way first. So let's stand to the right of our space. Coming into mountain pose, rolling shoulders up, down, and back. And let's take a few breaths here. We can have palms forward, or we could even have hands on our bodies to be more aware of our breath, maybe our ribs or belly and chest. Noticing how our breath is doing today. If it's feeling deep, shallow, smooth, shaky, whatever it is, just noticing, doing our best not to judge whether it's a good or bad way to breathe. And if we notice ourselves in judgment, then we can just say to ourselves, that's my liking mind, or that's my judging mind. And we can put those thoughts off to the side and go back to observation. Since this is a moon salutation, this is a cooler energy. So if you're used to practicing ujjayi breath or ocean breath, let's relax that here instead, opening the throat, but still keeping it to a nasal breath. And then let's see if we can tell which nostril is dominant. So you may be able to tell by closing one nostril at a time, seeing which one is more open, or placing your fingers underneath your nose. See which side you're getting a more forceful breath from. Or you may even be aware that you're congested on one side and the other side's open. That's okay. But let's see if we can go for a single nostril breath, doing our moon breath or cooling breath. So I'll mirror you. We'll do the same side together. Go ahead and close your right nostril. If you're really congested, we could do this as a visualization, or maybe just half close your right nostril. We're going to inhale and exhale from the left nostril only. Notice how this feels. You may notice that it has a bit of a cooling effect on the body. And if you already noticed that your left nostril was open, fantastic. If you notice that your right nostril was open, this might help you shift into a cooler state. So through this style of breathing, we're sending the message to body and brain to be a bit more cooled down, less fiery. If you've been running around and really busy, this will help us move into more stillness, even though we will be moving around. We'll come back to this, so let's do one more round of breath like this. And we'll let it go. All right, we're gonna start stepping side to side. So we'll take a big step to one side and then step our feet together. Take a big breath up and bring hands to heart center. Let's keep this going. We'll step side, big breath up. We can add on an element of balance. So let's see how big a step over we can take, bending the knees and bringing it in, moving slowly here. So the more slowly we move, the more of a balance challenge we get. If we like, we can add a knee lift here. So we can lift our knee and step across, lift our knee, and step together. So please do feel free to make this your own, going at your own pace, adding your own modifications. If balance is a challenge, of course, maybe you're moving in a smaller step. You could also, a great way to do this is actually, if you were to hold like a broomstick, something like that, you could step it in front of you, use it to hold your balance as you come across, just as an idea, and then we could be even reaching it overhead. You can have a lot of fun with a broomstick doing yoga and mobility. So that might be one way of doing it, or if you just feel more steady doing this with a chair close by to catch you. And of course, if your balance is fantastic, make it a big, proud, confident movement. So we're all finding our own way. Let's do one more full round over and back. Let's go meet in mountain pose. Beautiful. Whenever you get there, step out wide, take your time getting here. Again, we might want to negotiate how far apart the feet are, if we want to hold, again, that broomstick in front of us to help us with our balance as we lower and lift. If we're not holding anything, we can inhale up, and we're exhaling into moonflowers here. Big confident movement, dropping our tails down and back. So we're warming up, even though we're staying cool, we're warming up our inner thighs because we'll be doing some side to side lunging movement. We might like to be doing more of a cooling breath. So we inhale up and out and then slow all the way down. If you have more of a weight training background, we used to call this working the negative. Let's do one more together. Up and down. And then we'll meet at that top range of motion. Take a big reach up. Let's bring our palms parallel to the earth and we'll pull back. And then it might feel good to do some side-to-side movement of the neck. And we'll keep our legs in this wide position. We're going to do a side-to-side movement of the body like this. So we're shifting from our waist. You might like to take a look down. Our legs are not really moving. You might be more comfortable with a little knee bend or even a deep knee bend. Obviously, with a deeper knee bend, we're getting more of a lower body workout. And with a straighter leg, our leg muscles aren't working so hard. But let's go with whatever keeps us comfortable in our pelvis and our low back. Shifting side to side here. And we're gonna make it the opposite now. So we've been moving just our arms. Now let's move just our legs. So we'll take a look at our toes. Make sure all 10 toes point forward, and we'll bend just one knee. So let's go ahead and bend the right, shifting to the right. We'll feel the stretch in the left inner thigh. Coming back through center, we'll go the other way. And let's do our best to keep our shoulders pretty square forward as we go. There's nothing wrong with twisting, but let's start first with a straight movement. Twisting is supposed to build a lot of heat in the body. So if we're straighter, then technically we're staying cooler. We can bring hands to heart. We might like to take arms out to T at the top and then hands to heart at the bottom. If we like that chest expansion, we can take our thumbs to the wall behind us again. And then we're sitting down. Maybe we're working the negative again. So we're inhaling more quickly and then long, slow exhale. We'll go once more each way. If we remember which side we started on, we're finishing on the opposite side. We'll come back through center. Well, let's turn our toes out and we'll do another side to side movement of the body. Let's take our arm up and over. And we're coming back through center. We'll go the other way. Now, if you would like a breather for your legs, this is a lot of inner thigh work. We could bring it back through center. We could be seated instead of standing, but if we like this big movement, feel free to come up and over. I went with this because bigger movements, like a wider step, is more traditional with a moon salutation. But of course, we don't have to do it like that. We could bring the feet together. You might like to take it really deep and low, getting a deeper sensation in the inner thigh stretch. And this is all leading up to what we sometimes call a peak pose, sort of. So we've been doing lots of movements in the same kind of family of movements, side to side, stretches for the side of the body and the side of the waist. We're gonna put them together. Let's go once more each way. And before we do our big peak pose, let's come back through center. We'll walk our feet in. Just give our legs a little breather. We'll come into tree pose. So we're going to step a little step to the side and turn our knee out. Let's make sure you have enough space to move into. We'll go ahead and step side. So we're going to plant left and turn out the right leg. There we go. That's our tree flow. We can inhale out and exhale through center. Take it the other way. And of course, any variation of tree, right? So we talked about all these things with our balance the first time around. Maybe we have both feet down rather than one. Maybe we want to do a big step out and a big step in. But we're giving our legs a break from being in that big broad movement, keeping our legs still, and we're getting them moving again. Let's go once more, each direction. Last side. Returning to mountain. Awesome, let's give those shoulders a roll. We'll keep this tall posture as we move through our triangle flow. Let's take our feet wide. And we're gonna do this shift again, but this time, let's all go the same direction. So we're gonna turn our right toes forward and our left toes side. We can straighten our legs, palms up. We're gonna practice this shift moving into triangle, noticing that edge or even comfort edge or sort of a place of resistance, how far forward we can go. And you may feel that there's a real stopping point somewhere. That's what we're looking for. So we're finding what's too far and stopping just before that. When we're ready, let's go to that just before we're too far point, and then we'll take one up, one down into triangle, holding here. We may like to rest our top arm in behind towards our low back. And we might like to come low or very low. We'll take one more breath here. We'll use our core strength to come back up to the top. And let's pivot our feet to the other side. One foot forward, Right toes out, palms up. Here we go. Shifting our side to side movement, finding that stopping point. And there is benefit too to this, depending on how you think of it, side to side movement, or if you're on your mat, you're moving towards the front of your mat usually. We're stretching the sides of our waist, our oblique muscles. We're working on our balance. You might start to feel it in the sides of the hip as well. Finding where it's too far, pulling just a little back from there, and then making our way into triangle. And we know we have that option to rest the top arm in behind. We could be much higher on the leg or much lower on the leg. But we're gonna do a little different transition this time through because we know we have to make it to the floor, right? So let's hold here steady. Knowing, of course, we could always come out of the pose early, but until then, we can stay here. Maybe another round of breath. And then we're gonna make our way down into a wide-legged forward fold. So we're turning all 10 toes to point in the same direction towards me if you're facing the video. And then we have the option of being more active or less active in this pose. So we could put a bend in our knees and press our feet away from one another. We could press our hands down to stay strong through the upper body, sliding our shoulders down and back. Or we could be less active, putting more body weight into the earth, maybe just letting our bodies hang, giving our heads a little shake. Maybe shifting side to side. Another fan favorite is to walk the hands forward and shift your body weight backward for a wide-legged variation of downward facing dog. So we get the benefit of a downward dog shape in the upper body, but a lot less weight on our wrists. And let's use a cooling, sinking breath here. So we may feel our bodies lift a bit with a deep inhale. And then focus on that sinking feeling with a long exhale. Maybe with our inhale, we lift and lengthen out the spine. And with our exhale, we're sinking and shifting the tail back more. Spending a little longer here if we like, but we are going to make our way down to all fours. So we can walk our hands in, we can bend our knees, and you might need to have a little negotiation coming up to standing or using a chair to get back down, but I usually find I'm okay walking one knee in at a time. And we can make our way into child's for a moment. Again, no rush, but we also have the option to take a seat and roll the shoulders out. Maybe take the head side to side again. We have one more flowing side to side movement. So take your time resetting. And then we're coming in to all fours. So I'll show you facing forward like this. We'll take our right leg out to the side, similar to that wide-legged forward fold that we were just in. Ideally, our foot is flat. You might feel a stretch down the outside of the foot or lower leg. Maybe a stretch through the inner thigh. And we'll make our way into a side plank. So we're walking the left hand over to be in line with the left knee. And then the right leg is out straight. Just like our triangle pose that we did. Nice long spine here. We're gonna float. This one sometimes is a little ambitious for our balance, but we'll see how we do. We can take hand to hip, Coming up to kneeling, we inhale as we open one side of our ribs, and then exhale as we come down into our kneeling side plank variation. All right, let's flow through this side to side. Maybe we find a different natural expression of the arms. You may by chance be doing a much smaller variation of this, not taking it all the way down, totally fine. You may be doing, rather than a smaller variation, a larger variation, lifting the legs. So wherever we are, let's be okay with that. We're treating our bodies with care and kindness. Take what you like and leave what you don't. Okay, the next time we're at the bottom, let's stay there. And we'll make our way to the other side. So let's catch up. We'll take our hands down and walk around through, bringing our knee in. From all fours, let's go ahead and kick out the other way. We're using the floor to help with our balance. Walking our hands over, so now we have right hand and right knee and left foot on the floor. We can open, turning our body side, not unlike our triangle pose. Nice long line in our spines. We could be on our fist or our fingertips. Let's check our balance and coordination on this side. So we'll take hand to hip, pulling from the core, we bring ourselves up. Inhaling, opening one side of the rib cage, maybe feeling a stretch in the underarm or the lats. And then exhaling into our side plank. You know it now, this is our flow. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Yes, we can do a much smaller range of motion. Side bending, and then a straight spine. We may like to do a much bigger range of motion, feeling ambitious, lifting the legs side. Let's flow, moving in time with our own natural rhythm. Now, if you are feeling quite heated, these are movements we don't normally do. So, well, depending on who you are. I don't know, maybe you do a lot of moon salutation, and a lot of side plank. But for most of us in a typical conventional yoga practice, we do a lot of forward and back movement. In daily life, we don't do a lot of side to side movement. So you may be noticing your muscles are really working, your balance is really working, you're getting really hot. It is okay. I mean, that's some of the benefit of fitness, right? Sweat is a desirable product of this, but we are gonna cool down. Okay, the next time we're at the bottom, let's meet there, whatever version or variation you like. We'll meet at the bottom. We'll walk ourselves around, and yogi's choice, we may like to sit for a moment, or we may like to sit back in child's pose. When you're ready, let's finish together in a seated position. We'll do our single nostril breath again. You may notice that your nostril dominance has changed. It might be the same. Maybe your sinuses have cleared up. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more stuffy. But whatever the case, we're going to focus our attention and awareness on the left nostril, just the left nostril. And then maybe we can use our right hand to plug the nose. There are a bunch of different techniques to do this. I usually do it like I'm jumping into a swimming pool between my thumb and my first finger. If you are really congested, we could always do this just as a visualization. It has the same kind of power because it's about our intention behind it, right? So let's have this intention of bringing cooling into our bodies. We're still. We're relaxing the throat, so we're not doing an ujjayi breath or ocean breath, if you know what that is. And let's go ahead and we're gonna block just the right nostril, breathing in and out through the left. We may like to inhale for 4, and then exhale for 8, doing a longer exhale. We may like to do it in a bit more of a circular pattern with some more coordination. So we can inhale left for 4, and then exhale right for 4 or 8, yogi's choice. Inhaling left, exhaling right. The focus on the long exhale is supposed to cool us down. But of course, breathe however you need to feel like you're getting enough air, you're feeling good. You can give it a few more. And when we're ready, we're going to let our hands rest, noticing how we're feeling again. To be more aware of breath and body, we may like to take our hands to our torso to feel our breathing. Well, let's go ahead and bring hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me here today. From my light to yours, namaste.